You wanna hear something crazy? A blanket stitch and a buttonhole stitch is actually the exact same thing. It just changes depending on how spaced apart the stitches are. So let's learn how to do both. Alrighty, we're going to start with a blanket stitch, and it is often used to cover the raw edges of something, whether that be a blanket or sometimes even it's used on patches instead of a whip stitch. So first thing we're going to come up with is from behind, or at least that's how I like to do it, so that I can hide my knot on the back of my fabric. And you're always going to do that. You're always going to come from behind. And when you come from behind on a blanket stitch, however far down from the edge your stitches is how far sideways you want to come up with your next stitch with your needle. Like this. Now, with the blanket stitch, the first stitch looks kind of odd, but once it is pulled almost tight, you have to stick your needle through this loop before pulling it actually tight. And the first stitch looks kind of odd because there's nothing anchoring this over here, but after this, you're going to do the exact same thing. Come up however far over this far down is, pull it tight, and then with this little loop, you're going to stick your needle through it. And it's going to start looking like this, a straight line up with a straight line over the edge of your fabric. Like so, you can see this is my blanket stitch. I have the lines going up and the lines going side to side, and sticking my needle through that hole before I pull it tight is how I get it to do that. Now, the only difference between this blanket stitch and a buttonhole stitch is instead of coming out one stitch over, like however far this is coming out over here, you just come out right beside it, because a buttonhole stitch is meant to completely cover this raw edge up here, usually for purposes of buttonholes, but this can also be used with hand-sewn eyelets. Like that, you see? Like that, you can see over time, as more stitches build up, it completely covers this edge. But the structure of a buttonhole stitch is literally the exact same structure as the blanket stitch. They're just more closely spaced. I hope this helped. If any of you guys want to help me get these videos over to the historical sewing side of things, that would be awesome. I don't technically do historical sewing, but I do steal their techniques sometimes. And a hand stitch is a hand stitch at the end of the day. Happy sewing, and I will see you next time for the catch stitch / cross stitch. It also has a whole bunch of weird names.